welcome back to the Quality Cup Life podcast. My name is Imani, and here we talk about how to live a better quality of life for young adults, how to make your own decisions, and how to create the life that you want to live instead of letting other people tell you how to live. So, thank you so much for listening, and let's get into the show. All right, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the Quality Cup Life podcast. Thanks so much for coming and listening and hanging out with me for a couple minutes. I ain't gonna hold you long, but as the day I am recording this, tomorrow is my birthday and I'm excited. I don't have any super big plans or anything like that. However, I'm just happy to be here another year because I know personally of some people who didn't make it into 2021 and who got to 2020 but didn't make it into 2021, or just people in the past who were close to my age who didn't make it. I made it. Now I'm older than what they made it to, and so I'm just happy to be here, honestly, because I'm sure there were plenty of opportunities where I was very close to not being here, so I'm just super excited about that. And so in celebration of me turning the big 25, I want to talk about 5 lessons I learned in 25 years. And I'm kind of going to go through some significant-ish moments that brought me to where we are today. And so what's pretty cool is that in one of the mastermind groups that I'm in, we kind of went through this exercise about significant moments that really taught you some things from childhood to teenage years up into adulthood. And so these are just some of the moments that I just happened to write down and found significance in. So before I get started, I encourage you to do the same thing and think of some things. Maybe it's not from your whole life, but maybe it's some significant things that got you to where you are it could be from 2021 up until now. And also for you to remember the moment, how you felt in that moment, and then your emotions, and then also what you learned from that moment. So it's always great to look for the lesson and also to take responsibility in whatever situation it is, because if you don't take responsibility, you're giving over your power to somebody else or something else, and that's not how we move over here. We take responsibility and we own it, and we figure out what we can do better or what we can get from that and take those lessons into the future. So let's get started. So the first lesson I'll say is from my childhood, and I'll never forget this. I remember my 5th grade teacher, right? So, I'm gonna give you the story. Okay, so, 5th grade is still elementary school, and at the end of 5th grade, where I'm from, they have, when you go into middle school, they have separate classes for more advanced students, and then those that are not as advanced. And my teacher was kind of going around the class and being like, which one of you guys you think will be in the honors classes or whatever? And I didn't raise my hand because I was kind of shy and stuff when it came to being in classes. I wasn't shy around my friends, of course, but and then we had a couple bullies and stuff in the class. I was just chilling or whatever. And my teacher, I was about to say professor, my teacher would be like, oh yeah, this person I think this person is going to be in honors, this person is going to be in honors. Oh no, I don't think that person and that person is going to be in honors. Oh, you won't make it to honors. And I was one of those people she was like, nah, you're not going to make it to honors. And it was very interesting to me. I've always been kind of an observer, and so I was just kind of sitting back chilling, right? And I was thinking to myself, that's funny because a lot of those people, the majority of those people who you say, you're telling them that, oh yeah, you're going to make it, I think you're going to make it, those are the students that were the bullies and that were cheating in class. So I was like, okay, interesting. And then a lot of the people who she assumed wouldn't make it were the people who made it that next year. And I was surprised. I didn't expect to get into the advanced honors classes partly because of what she said, and I didn't really think I was like smart like that. Like, and then I didn't really try in school around that age. I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And so in that moment, I felt really, well, not really sad, but I felt kind of sad and like defeated and kind of like unseen, sort of. That has also kind of been a theme throughout my life in certain points, which now I'm readjusting, of course. And it's come a long way. But the lesson that I learned was that usually people that have these like negative projections of you, it's usually because they don't really know you. Because my teacher didn't really know me and my personality. She didn't. She just kind of assumed things about me. And that has kind of also been a reoccurring theme in my life as well, as people just assume things about me and will assume things about me, but they'll tell me what their assumptions are as if they are correct or as if they are the truth. And would you look at that, the next year I was not in the classes, the regular classes. I made it into honors. I don't know how the heck I got in there, but I was happy to be in there because for real, being real though, those kids in the regular classes, it was hood. They was some hood kids. Like, I was like, whew, I'm glad I didn't get it. I'm glad I tested out. So the second lesson that I learned, I'm going to say, it's actually the year before my last year of elementary school, my 4th grade year. So we had to take these end of the year tests, kind of like most schools. And I think she was my English teacher. She was my homeroom teacher. I think if you got like a 3 or a 4, because the scores are from 1 to 4. If you got a 3 or a 4, and I think it was at least 2 or 3 subjects, something like that. She, I guess, partnered with some kind of company. I have no idea, but some kind of company, and they would get you a brand new bike and a helmet, right? And, you know, you at 9 years old, you're like, whoa, a new bike, a new helmet, which I already had a bike at my grandparents' house, but it wasn't like a brand new bike like that. That bike was nice. Like, the bike they got us, it was nice. And so I was very surprised. Cut to, you know, when I got my test results back, I got very good grades. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, cool, like, dope, I'm gonna get a bike. And then it didn't hit me until we had to come after school, of course, and they brought us in the cafeteria, I think it was, or maybe it was outside. It was outside, I think. And looky, they had my brand new bike, and I got to pick up my bike and a helmet that fit my head, and it was so exciting. And at 9, like, I worked pretty hard for that, and it was really like, I felt like excitement. I felt joy. I felt pride. Like, I was proud of myself. I felt accomplished. And the even cooler thing that made it even just so much sweeter was that once we got our bikes, I think it was law enforcement. They took us all around my city, like all around my town, all around. We just rode bikes, and we had police escort us in cars and on bikes, and we was just cruising through the city. It was the coolest thing ever, like the coolest thing ever. And then they took us out to eat, and after they took us out to eat, then we rode our bikes back to the school, and that was the coolest thing ever. It was so fun. I would do that again. It was the funnest thing ever, and I really hope that people are still doing things like that to kind of motivate kids and show kids that, you know what, when you work for something, when you put in for something, like, it matters. It really matters when you give something your all and you really care. Like, it matters. And so that is something I'll never forget. And then the third lesson I've learned in 25 years was when I was in high school and I was taking geometry. And if you don't know, I will tell you, I am not a math genius. I am not good at math. I never have been. I've had to work to get a decent grade or whatever. So I think I was in about 10th grade or something like that. And I had to take geometry because I was a part of the curriculum. And, you know, at first in the school, the first half of the semester, I just kind of, would do my thing, do my work in class, and, I was just kind of doing the bare minimum, sort of, and I thought, testing the water to see if you'll pass, and I kept failing tests, and it wasn't like a 60 type of fail, it was like a 40. I was getting like 40s and stuff, and I was like, oh, nah, this ain't gonna work. I was like, because I knew after ninth grade, I was like, oh, you can't play around, we gotta go to college, because you got to get the heck up out of here, so I started taking school more seriously, and they had tutoring sessions. This teacher had tutoring sessions or whatever. So I would come, but it would irritate me sometimes because during her tutoring hours, sometimes this lady wouldn't be there. And I'm just like, dog, I asked you before class was over, you'll be here at this time, right? Yeah, I'll be there at this time. That's my hours. I get to the class. I walk up the stairs after school. I'm tired. I'm hungry and ready to go home, lady. And I get to your class and there ain't no tutoring. Bruh. Now I gotta figure out, okay, how I'm gonna get home. Because I done told my mom I'm going to tutoring. How I'm gonna get home, lady? Like, why would you tell me you gonna be there and you ain't gonna be there, dog? Like, what are you doing? And that was like one of the first times that I really had to fight for what I wanted. And I was kind of on her head, on my version of on her head, of on your head, about, are you going to be there? Are you sure you're going to be there? Because last time you weren't there and I asked you, right? And then at this point, I had to start kind of, I wouldn't say skipping classes, but like classes that weren't as important, like ROTC or like computer classes. I don't remember exactly, or like the intervention, like the sophomore classes, like the generic sophomore class. I was like, I don't need this. So I would leave that class, those classes that didn't really matter like that, and I would go during the day and get tutoring and get help, and I was studying and I was working with my classmates, and that was the first time I had to really fight for what I wanted and what I knew I needed for me, because she didn't care, honestly, whether I passed or failed. She was just kind of like straight up one of those teachers that's, okay, if you pass or fail, sweetheart, that's on you. I don't have nothing to do with that. So I really appreciate that lesson. It sucked in the moment, but I appreciated it. And I really felt, in that moment, I felt frustrated. I was irritated. And then in the end, when I passed, I think I passed like an 83 or something like that, if I can remember right. I felt proud of myself and I felt empowered. I was like, okay, Imani, you have the power in your hands, so you can turn things in whatever direction you want. You just got to make up your mind and let's go get it. Oh, and also what I learned was, just because the opposition is heavy, that doesn't mean that the goal isn't worthy. And it doesn't mean that the goal, that you shouldn't have it. That just means that there's a lesson in this. And it's just so much sweeter when you put in. So, all right. The fourth lesson that I have gotten in my 25 years of life is graduating from college. On time at that, with the original major and extracurriculars. And that's not always the case for everybody. There's a lot of people, and that's perfectly fine. Take the time that you need, but a lot of people don't graduate on time like that. And most people who go into college with a major in mind, they change it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times. Like it's pretty normal. So I was just very proud of myself for making a decision, sticking with it, and seeing it all the way through. And I've had some really rough seasons in college, and college taught me so much. So when I graduated, I was beyond proud of myself, and college has really pushed me to the brink at times. Woo! And then I graduated, and then I got to kind of see things go full circle, sort of seeing things come full circle from when I started to where it ended. I never would have, if I would have known all the stuff I would have gone through in college, I probably wouldn't have gone. I would be like, look, I'm good. You know what I mean? And so the emotions I felt with college was, I felt victorious. I felt hope. I felt pride. I felt relief that I was finally done, because I was like the last semester of college. I was like, I'm so over this. I'm so over this. I'm done. I don't have nothing else in me. Get me out of here. That's how I felt about school. And then I also felt humility too, because I really needed a lot of grace and mercy to get through, because literally there were things that were against me. Like, I got through against the odds is what I mean. The 5th lesson I got from my 25 years of life that were very significant for me. Not to get mushy on you guys, but the person that I'm dating now, it's pretty interesting to me. Like, the relationship is actually healthy and it's mutual, and he's not what a lot of people, our age deal with, F boys, F girls. They don't, you hear the phrase, N-words ain't ish, you know what I mean? He a F boy and all of this. Like, I've never been in no terrible, like, just horrific situations or anything like that, but I've never been in a relationship that's this healthy. Like, it's just like, I feel like this is normal. Like, this is what it's supposed to be like when you imagine a relationship. When you imagine a relationship in your mind, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm cool with this, And the emotions that I felt in the beginning when I was like, wow, this is really new to me. And then also now is I felt desired, I felt adored, I felt worthy, and I felt admired. And that's pretty cool, because I can name a lot of people and their past relationships and even current where that's not the case, or at least from outside looking in, it looks pretty toxic. So, and I don't want no parts of that. So I just think that's just really cool. And the lesson I learned from this has been that, for me, it has been that I am loved and I can be loved. I am accepted as I am for who I am. And you can deal with people, and it could be relationship, like romantic relationship, or it could be like a friendship or family member or whatever. And people are like trying to change you and stuff, or they tell you that they get with you, or they become friends with you or whatever. And you guys kind of become close, and then they start to tell you all the things that they don't like about you, and they're trying to change this and change that. This doesn't feel like that. This just feels like more natural. And of course, there's things you need to grow in, but you don't want to feel like somebody won't be interested in just loving you and just wanting to just be a part of your life just because they love you and they like think you're awesome, So yeah, I have a lot more things that have been very significant in my life, and a lot more lessons, a lot more painful lessons, especially recently. I'd say within the last like 3 or 4 years. But these are just the ones I have for you today. So thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with somebody else if you found this helpful. And I'll see you next week, all right? Bye.